Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you. Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you, catch you, catch you. All I do is impress you with my mouse trap. All I do is convince you with my cheese. All I do is be the coolest cat here. But I'll need some more super burrito. But I need some more super burrito. But I need some more super burrito.
Hello, MouseHunt, and welcome to Feedback Friday. Today is February 19, 2021. My name's Dave. How's everybody in the chat doing? Hi, Dave. Hi, everyone who isn't Dave, says Vaughn. Very good, Aaron. Hey, good morning, good morning. Well, I think I might be a little bit stuttery here, but we'll see if this video resolves itself. I think my laptop just doesn't like streaming video. One day it'll like it though. Well, today we're gonna go over the spring egg hunt. So kind of last time I joined you, I was getting some feedback on bonus hunts and spring egg hunt in general as well. Some updates about getting feedback on the excavator charge cycle, seeing how often players use that, how excited they are about that. So that was very useful. First of all, big thanks to all the hunters who took some time to submit feedback on bonus hunts. I filled out that form. We had a little Google form going, as well as comments on the Facebook page as well. That was really helpful for us. And kind of what it revealed was the overwhelming majority of hunters gave us feedback that they enjoy the concept of bonus hunts. And so it was, I think it was like 96, 97% of hunters who kind of filled out that form said, hey, I like the concept of bonus hunts. So that kind of was comforting that, we don't need to shy away from using them for different types of things and events. And kind of we ended up interpreting that feedback was, hey, hunters aren't fundamentally opposed to the idea of bonus hunts, especially when it comes to special types of event mice. So that really helped us finalize the decision to do away with the spring egg hunt stockpiles in favor of making all the spring egg hunt mice bonus hunts. Afternoon from Sweden, says Anders. Hello, Ben. Hello to you. 100 hunters joining us. Hello, everybody. A chocolate bar base, yes. March 30 event. Yes, the spring egg hunt will be a little bit sooner. It'll even it'll crack open before April lands. No more stockpile, asks Monka. Yes. So that was kind of, we were going back and forth. We'd struggled with the spring egg hunt over the years to kind of get it to feel just right. It's one of the oldest events in the game. I think it was it 2011? The first spring egg hunt came out? Should have looked that up. But for sure, there's a lot of kind of history behind it. And so unlike other events where you can pretty well start with a blank slate and you have the event mice and you can find new creative ways to put them in, to put in the event mice and find kind of new fresh gameplay. It might be getting a little bit repetitive over the years, and yet there's all these elements of it that it was just kind of hard to sort of square peg round hole going on, trying to get everything to fit and work out well. Crack open great. Yeah, it's that time of year where we can make egg puns nonstop. Anytime somebody has a suggestion, it'll be excellent for a while. Mites says, good day, Dave. Happy Lunar New Year to you and the dev team. Thank you. Right back at you. Beth chimes in with a fun fact. The first spring egg hunt came out before treasure maps existed. Really? Jack says, a bit off topic, I wonder whether Shadow Charms will be making a return. They're no longer available. No, we're kind of phasing out the power type charms. So they're a little bit limited in where you can get them right now. KDM there. That is, I can't believe we haven't thought of that for this year. From Oxcellent to Excellent. That is a rare opportunity with Year of the Ox aligning, followed up by the spring egg hunt. There can be Oxcellent puns and excellent puns. And Meek's going to celebrate their 11th Mouse Hunt anniversary on February 20. That's hours away. Dare I say, depending where you are in the world, it may have already arrived. Well, so like I was saying, that it was a huge help getting all that feedback that helped guide the decision to do away with the stockpile locations and have all the spring egg hunt mice be bonus hunts. And really, conceptually, that kind of lends itself so much better to the idea of finding bonus eggs. So you don't have to kind of choose between going to the stockpiles to work on King's Crowns, to hunt the event mice, refill your extras, that sort of thing. You can just go forth, seek out the bonus eggs, which that's a huge part of the fun for a lot of players in the spring egg hunt, is finding the bonus eggs. And then that way, kind of how the event mice work don't get in the way. You don't have to choose between, well, do I want to hunt event mice or do I want to go find these eggs? You can do them both at the same time. No, I've never got 20 of that. Destroys my goal to get 20 of all charms. Well, maybe use them up and you can kind of tuck them away out of sight, out of mind in your inventory, along with maybe some other kind of retired charms. Monica says, I'm kind of happy there isn't a stockpile again. You have to take huge chunks of time to go hunt for cheese. Really excited. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting it as well. We were kind of having a hard time sort of making the egg hunt work and have the bonus eggs work out well. So, hey, bonus eggs, bonus hunts, match made in heaven, I guess. The other piece of feedback that we're kind of gauging some sentiment on previous feedback Friday was on the excavator charge cycle. And so kind of from various comments and kind of trying to feel the pulse of sentiment there, it seemed like there wasn't a whole lot of enthusiasm or looking forward to the charge cycle. And that's another good example of something that's been around for years and years. And really, it's just time to kind of find something fresh, something new. So this year, the excavator charge cycle will be gone as well, but we are going to replace that with a new chocolate themed shop that you can build and upgrade. And as you hunt down the bonus mice, you'll be collecting something to help renovate and add more shelves to the chocolate shop, and that'll allow you to buy various rewards as well as claim kind of one-time rewards as well. So in kind of almost a similar vein to Halloween, where you're collecting something and you can claim some rewards. A little bit different here though, different theme where you're building up a shop, and every time you upgrade the shop, you will be able to claim a one-time reward. And so I think one of those, pending play testing, is this delicious looking chocolate bar base, which it looked like a mouse has taken a nibble or two out of the corner. Skylar asks, does that mean no marshmallow cheese? That is correct. So those stockpiles will be gone, so there won't be a need to use marshmallow cheese. I like the stockpiles because they allowed you to specifically farm the spring egg hunt mice at a rate of one mouse, one hunt. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point, and it's kind of maybe one downside of using the bonus hunts. That said, though, you often have to spend time collecting the cheese to then go hunt the mice. So it may have been kind of 50-50 depending on how you're tackling that. That said, over the years, of course, people have had massive stockpiles of Marshmallow Monterey build up over the course of a decade. So in recent hunts, probably not unless you're a newer player. Yeah, Salim says, never use charges anymore, been years. Yeah, we weren't seeing too many people get all that excited about it. Not a whole lot of people participating in the charge cycle. So yeah, it was kind of time to think of something new and fresh. And on the topic of the spring egg hunt as well, of course, we'll be looking for ideas on new bonus eggs to add to the game. Of course, with the floating islands being a new massive area, there are lots of hiding spots for eggs in the floating islands for sure. But otherwise as well, I think there's been some popular suggestions even in some of the older areas as well. Find a few of the mice and hide a few eggs here and there. But I think kind of once we get finished some of the artwork on some of the gameplay overhauls of the spring egg hunt, the art team's going to get cracking on illustrating various eggs. So there'll be lots of kind of brainstorming. We kind of put together a big list of potential eggs, but it's often we kind of decide as we go a little bit here, depending on how much extra time we have, how many eggs are going to go in. Swift asks, could Marshmallow Monterey be cashed out for something? I believe we're looking into that. I can't quite, it's a little soon to say for sure. We have to kind of do a little bit more play testing, a little more balance. But in previous years, you could exchange it for charms as well. So we're confident we can work out something, but just because it isn't in stone yet, I won't go into too much detail. But we're thinking of that as well. Generic Potato says, bold of you to assume a mouse took a bite out of that and not me. It does look tempting. I think it's the sheen on that chocolate. Before I worked here, actually, I was a candy cook, and I can tell you it's hard to get that nice sheen on your chocolate. It has to be tempered just right. And so it looks like that chocolatier did a good job there. Any hard egg planned this year? Hard boiled? No. Yeah, again, we haven't really finalized the list. We're open to feedback, suggestions as well. Help us brainstorm some eggs. I think there's some sentiment an egg that requires perhaps a level 8 or 9 Oculus might be a little too soon for that. So I think we'll probably wait until next year before we see the likes of a Cloudbeard or a Richard egg. But again, we're still kind of finalizing the list, so not quite sure which direction we'll ultimately decide to go in, but I think we're leaning that way anyway at the moment. Jonathan asks, how are you going to get the 10 basic eggs that used to drop in stockpiles if they're in stockpiles? I believe we're going to add them as loot to the bonus hunt, but we're still kind of fleshing that out. That was one item that we're going to have yet to kind of put a pin in, but we definitely want you to be able to collect those eggs again. I think as well we're going to refresh the contents of those eggs. They're a little bit dated, again with the egg hunt being such an old event, and those were the very first eggs to ever go in. They could have a slightly more exciting stuff inside of them. You know, nothing absolutely earth-shattering, but I think we're going to overhaul those a little bit as well as because before you could use extra charms to double them, and if they end up being loot from the bonus hunt of the spring egg hunt mice, then your charms do not work on bonus hunts because it does not consume charms on bonus hunts. And so I think how we are going to handle that if we go in that direction is double the contents of all the eggs. So it's pretty well, hey, just like, yeah, we're already using extras and a few kind of the bonus items as well, kind of just making them a little more exciting. But some of the eggs that have super brie in them, probably just doubling the amount of super brie you get. Well, some of the old egg hunt things like dark chocolate charms get an increasing the bonus hunt mice attraction rate. We're kind of playing with that a little bit, but for sure that's kind of one little detail that's subject to play testing, kind of getting the right feel for how often the bonus hunts occur and how you can kind of influence that. Froma Rift needs new eggs, like a generic Froma Rift egg. That's a good suggestion. Often we look at kind of over the past year, hey, what were some of the most popular areas in the game? Actually, let's take a look here. And that's often a good starting point to figure out, hey, where do you think players would like to see eggs? Let's set this using my other monitor here. 2020, forgetting what year it is as the days blend together. So last year, the most popular area was, this doesn't look right, Valor Rift. Oh, that makes sense. And Floating Islands is right up there despite having come out during the year. Prickly Plains, the vacant lot was extremely popular, but I would say that would be during the Great Winter Hunt. Queso River, Bristlewoods Rift, the Super Brie Factory. That makes sense. Everyone kind of heads there all at the same time. Labyrinth. Bob asks, can we trade in our old egg hunt cheese and charms? No guarantees yet, but that is definitely kind of on our to-do list to take a look at. Like I said earlier, previously you could exchange the cheese for charms. That said, with the excavator cycle going away, they won't be quite the exact same thing. But yeah, nothing set in stone yet, but we're looking at it. Twisted Carmine Egg, or just Carmine Egg dropped by 3 versions of Carmine? Is there? No, I guess there's just a Shattering Egg and all the Shattering mice. There isn't a Twisted Carmine Egg? There you go. I would advocate for that because I'll probably be spending a lot of time during the spring egg hunt in the living gardens. I think I'm going to get back on working on that. Speaking of which, I should sound my horn. Trying to finish upgrading my Oculus before I go back to the living garden quest. Yeah, Jason, exactly. 30 scrap metal was great back in the day, but maybe not quite as exciting now. So we're going to kind of take a look at all those eggs and see about making the item that you find inside a little bit more exciting. Like I said, if it ends up being a case where you can't use extra terms to double those, I think our plan there is to kind of double a lot of the contents as well and just kind of treat it like that. Victor says, hello guys, am I late? You're right on time, Victor. Brian says, shattering egg already exists. There you go. There are so many eggs, it's hard to even keep them all straight. Definitely need to ping your excavator to take a look at what you're missing. It's hard to hold them all in your mind at once. Chong asks, so previous spring egg hunt event charm no longer works. Yeah, the charge cycle will be gone, so the charge charms will not have a use, and that's just such the case often in events, kind of when they get overhauled. The supplies don't carry over to the next year. That's it. Wherever we can, we try to find a kind of niche use for some of the old stuff. For example, in the Great Winter Hunt, we used some of the older types of Great Winter Hunt cheese as a means to get a slightly higher collection rate of the new cheese. So where we can, but we do our best to find a spot to find a niche use for that. How do I get the Ox Jade base? You have completed the adventure. I believe it is an adventure reward if I'm not sorely mistaken here. You need to claim the adventure. Make sure you open your adventure book and you hit the claim button and you will get the Ox Jade base. This is me double checking to make sure I'm not completely losing it. Oh, and any new eggs that are pretty much firmed up that you can share with us? No, actually, it's still pretty wide open. Not a single egg has been illustrated. That might be, might get cracking on that next week. We'll see how many egg puns I can make in the meantime. But we do have kind of a big old brainstorm list. A lot of them were for the floating islands. So even maybe an egg for each power type was one idea floating around. Each of the wardens having an egg. The paragons could have an egg. Eggs hidden if you find a certain combination on your sky map as well. So a little bit more of a hidden Easter egg, if you will. Brian says, add a Corky collector egg. It's not as bad as Aether or Shelter. Yeah, Corky's not too bad. And you do have some control over Corky as well. You can upgrade your cheese. Whereas the Shelter, that's a good example of maybe that was a very popular player suggestion to have the Shelter egg. But I think maybe the enthusiasm was more around the destination than the journey. The idea of having a Shelter egg, like, wow, that would be so rare and coveted, and owning it would feel really cool and rewarding. But then kind of hindsight thinking about, okay, well, the journey to get there isn't very fun. So, you know, sometimes the journey's fun knowing that you're working towards a specific destination, but ideally you want both of them to be kind of entertaining as often as you can, where it's both fun to go through the experience of obtaining a goal, and it's also fun to then achieve and have that goal. Paragon egg dropping Paragon loot, please, says GR Reaper. Yeah, that's a whole other sort of, I can't think of a good egg pun right here, man. A whole other can of worms figuring out the contents of said eggs as well. So the spring egg hunt is neat. It's a little something for everybody in a lot of ways. Where if you're very sort of completionist, if you love collections, then the bonus eggs are all about, hey, gonna find them all, unlock them all in my excavator, collect them all. If you just like bonus loot, if you like kind of getting some extra reward and get some speed boosts or some progression boosts here and there, it's almost a little bit of a bonus loot event as well. Because when you open up the eggs, you get something, you know, it varies. Some things, some eggs are definitely more rewarding than others, but you get a little bit of bonus loot. The one thing that we felt was missing though was kind of if you're an explorer or if you're the type of player who likes to be sort of given a goal to achieve and then see yourself go through that and complete it. And I think that's where kind of over the years, we'd see players lose interest in the game a little bit around the spring egg hunt. Certainly not collectors would love it, and kind of bonus hunt players or bonus loot players would love it a lot. But players who like kind of the adventures, the idea of like, here's a storyline to work through, a narrative to experience, I think they kind of lost a little interest. So with the chocolate shop, that's what we're aiming for, where there is a goal put forth and you're looking to completely upgrade this chocolate shop and claim all the rewards, claim some things like the chocolate bar base. And you kind of have those sort of, oh, cool, I was there, I did it kind of moment. But hopefully our goal is to get it so it all marries together well into one nice stew, one nice spring stew, I guess, where it doesn't, you know, there's this adventure to complete, not literally adventure book adventure, but a sort of narrative, a storyline to work through, but that doesn't get in the way of hunting bonus eggs. So you don't have to choose between the storyline and collections. It doesn't get in the way of bonus loot either. If you like doing, just getting as many Valor Rift eggs as you can to crack them open to keep piling more sigils because you're working on some upgrades, it all kind of blends together nicely. You don't have to kind of choose which objective you're going to pursue. Thomas with the suggestion, if you came late, you can restart the video and watch on 1.5. I'll be talking like a chipmunk. I'm already kind of, I'd assume I gotta look a little bit choppy here. It looks like my laptop is streaming in an absolutely stunning 5 frames per second. One day I'll stop using a laptop and I'll use my desktop computer, but not today, I guess. Will there still be a way of obtaining extra charms? Absolutely, and the extra charms will still have the expected effect of doubling eggs. That said, we're still kind of toying around a little bit. If the 10 kind of main eggs are dropped as bonus hunts, then charms don't have their special effect go off during a bonus hunt. So, but like I said a couple times, I think we're going to double the contents of the eggs. I know people have been hunting 3 years for a shelter egg. Yeah, exactly, Jonathan. I think, like I said, the idea of having it sounds really fun, but the idea of getting it doesn't sound very fun. And I think it's one of those things where, because you don't have a lot of autonomy or control, there's really not much you can do to maximize the odds of encountering that mouse. So to kind of put an exclamation mark on you, not only do you need to find this mouse, but you have 4 weeks to do it, and there's no guarantees if that's enough time. Hindsight, maybe not the best egg, but hey, it's definitely special because it is definitely the most, I don't know if difficult is as accurate of an adjective as perhaps frustrating, but hey, it has a very strong identity at least. Whole other basket of eggs. Gavril, thank you. That's better. So in the spring, instead of opening a can of worms, you can just open a basket of eggs. Yudhishthira says extra is still available to use, but only affect normal hunt, not for bonus hunt. Yeah, that is correct. That's how that'll work. Eileen says you were lucky and got shelter in just a couple hours. Still haven't opened it. Yeah, I do. I don't think I have one. If I got one, I don't think I'd open it either. We have an over 9,000 egg, maybe an over 90 luck egg. Yeah, I mean, I think you can do it. But the joke quite isn't there. It's not the same reference, I guess. Boone's big suggestion of one adorned jewel. Of a jewel-encrusted egg. That would be like an Empyrean Fabergé egg. GR Reaper, when will the Lucky Mouse come back? Actually, that is on my list. Just wrapped up. Today is actually our due date to get the birthday event all kind of ready to go, put a bow on things, and get that ready to launch in early March. And that is on my list. I'm going to fire up the bonus loot mini event, which unleashes the Lucky Mouse, and I think they'll make an appearance sometime around St. Patrick's Day. That's the plan anyway. Final heart suggestion. That's funny there. And we got Kathy says, I keep one of each egg. Too many to catch every year. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you can see them all in your excavator, but there is something about that feeling of they're also in my inventory. They're nestled away safely. Maybe put down a little bit of basket fill in your inventory. Kind of spread that out. Nestle each egg into your inventory with love. When will the spring egg hunt live? I keep wanting to say sprig instead of spring. I guess I'm missing letters today. It typically lasts for 4 weeks, and although we haven't quite nailed down the end date, I would go out on a limb and say it'll also be 4 weeks. So 4 weeks after March 30. Uh-oh, I'm saying dates. That's going to make me cause misspeak there. March 30. So probably 4 weeks after March 30, unless during playtesting, for whatever reason, we want to change the duration. But odds are it'll probably be 4 weeks. Elusive. Grant says, I have the shelter egg, but I would suggest making that an exception for egg master for others. Well, that's too why we've made sure that there's nothing kind of functional. There's no benefit to achieving egg master. It's purely to say you have all the eggs. So I think it makes sense. You need to have all the eggs to have that title. But we definitely, I don't think it would be all that fun to lock anything unique, like a unique reward behind there, other than just kind of purely the cosmetic title of saying, I did it. I'm an egg master. But that comes with the territory. It's definitely something that takes years and years. I don't think it would even be possible if you had all the areas unlocked to find all the eggs in a single year. I don't think there's enough time to get it done. Jonathan says Shelder Egg would be less bad if there's a way to get Galleon Gouda cheese that didn't actually require someone to catch a Shelder worth. Well, don't want to diminish either the sort of unique identity of the Shelder. And again, that's another example of, hey, it's not tied to anything, any kind of advantage. There isn't some awesome trap you can build by capturing the Shelder. Certainly, at some point, you need to hope to pick it up if you want to unlock the entire collection of mice and say, I've captured all the mice in the game. But other than that, it is just kind of above and beyond. Something to hope for the best, maybe, while you're working on a map and you travel past the Huntington area. Salim says, getting my Shelder Egg was a story. I enjoyed it running when I first started playing MouseHunt after launch. Got to wait. Yeah, definitely. It is a game of patience. And so there are definitely some goals in the game that require patience and dedication. But hopefully it isn't too frustrating if it's kind of a bonus stretch goal and isn't something, well, I have to get this done so that I can do something else. There's an area you're really excited to get to, but there's a map piece you need and it's a 1 in 3,000 drop. That probably would be very frustrating. But if it was something that didn't kind of gate other content or objectives, then it is a little bit more, hey, achievement, a rare achievement to go and seek out. Frank says we should add a Feedback Friday egg. That's kind of a neat idea. You can crack it open and it's I can show you the link of the YouTube channel or something. Everybody says, hey Dave, cool outfit. I'm wearing a hat today for 2 reasons. 1, it's pretty darn cold out here. And 2, we've kind of been a bit of lockdown. Barbershops and haircut places have been closed for over a month. So I think it's been almost 3 months since I've had a haircut. It is just it's a tough mane to tame under there a little bit. Mike says, can you improve the bonus hunt notification in the mobile app? Actually, that's a great thing. I had that in my notes, actually. I forgot to went over that as well. So we're using the opportunity to kind of spruce up the look and feel of bonus hunts a little bit, especially in the mobile app. So right now, kind of the proof of concept, quick, dirty mock-up was, hey, take the trap activity that's on the bottom of the camp section in the mobile app, and when you get a bonus hunt in a nice kind of different looking color of some sort, highlight, it could say, I captured a white mouse, plus a hair raiser mouse. And so that'll give you that feedback of, hey, on your last hunt, you did encounter 2 mice without having to load and check the journal every time, which is certainly not the best. How about location egg? If you collected all types of egg in one region, you will unlock the region egg. Yeah, perhaps, although I think the interface does a pretty good job of kind of giving you check marks when you've found all the eggs in an area. So that kind of already exists a little bit, but from a loot perspective, that could be interesting. Hey, if I find all the eggs in an area and I unlock the regional egg, if the regional egg had something cool in there, it's almost a little bit of compounded reward. If you complete the set of eggs, then you unlock another tier of egg. You've leveled up your ability to earn bonus loot. Beth says, Egg Master all in 1 year has been done by at least 1 person each of the last 2 years. But imagine with floating islands, eggs, and being such a large area. Really? So that's a very impressive accomplishment to get all the eggs in 1 year. Add a quar egg. There you go. That'll be for Giorgio, the question answer reward egg. Before you can crack the egg, you have to answer a trivia question. Feedback Friday egg could be awarded for clicking the Feedback Friday link in the menu. That's interesting, Ben. I think we'd have to add it to the mobile app. I don't know if there is a link in the mobile app. Jonathan says, people complain about magmatic eggs. Once you get to Queso Cannabis, you get tons of magmatic charms from there. Yeah, that is a good way to go about getting some train supplies. If you don't have a lot of friends to run trains with, or trains aren't your cup of tea, you can definitely earn them elsewhere as well. Feedback Friday egg only available in the Quar. Oh dear. No, we'd be likely to forget to do that 1 year. Full to talk about bonus hunts recently. Any conversations about moving glitch paw mice to bonus hunts too? One day. I thought we had already done it, but it is still in the idea bank. It's the type of things in the difficulty of juggling priorities, because glitch paws don't come out all that often. And when they do, it's for a few days. Kind of gets delegated lower on the priority list than some other things, but it's still chilling out on the to-do list. Can we get more egg sweeper shovels during the event, maybe as loot drops from the bonus hunts? We are looking at a couple ways to get a few more shovels in there, possibly via the chocolate shop idea. When you're upgrading that, one of them would be to claim some bonus shovels. There's also shovels inside those 10 kind of initial eggs. I don't quite know what the right term for those eggs are, but we're looking at kind of doubling maybe what's inside of some of those. There isn't a Feedback Friday link in the app, says Keith. I didn't think so. Feedback Friday or Jacob the Painter egg. Yeah, just live painting. Every time you open it up, it pings Jacob somewhere, and he has to live illustrate the egg for you while it's opening. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding, Jacob. He just has a sore wrist during the 4 weeks of the spring egg hunt. Do we have a glitch paw egg? No, I don't think there is a glitch paw egg. Ryan asks, how exactly would the chocolate shop work? Is it similar in nature to the birthday cheese vending machine? Kind of, again, things are still kind of being put together a little bit, so grain of salt, subject to play testing. We often tweak and tune things while we're finishing off putting things together. But the basic premise of it is there are things to buy in that shop, and you collect a currency item from the various spring egg hunt mice that you can spend in this shop. And similarly as well, you can also use that currency to upgrade the shop. So you can almost think of it in terms of, again, the interface is still being pulled together here, but you start off and it just has one shelf, or it has no shelves. And the very first thing you need to do is unlock and add a shelf to the shop, and then there are things to buy on that shelf. And then you go and there's a second shelf, and you go like, hey, I want to upgrade the shop. Level 2 shop now has 2 shelves, and there's cooler stuff on that shelf to buy. And when you unlock a shelf, you could get kind of a one-time reward as well. So kind of whether that's a journal theme, a base, some event supplies, still kind of subject to putting all that together. So as you'd go, thered be so many shelves to build, and you can fully upgrade the shop, and then you'd have you've unlocked the ability to purchase all the various unique items that the shop sells. So a little bit almost like a different thematic take on kind of the reward track of Halloween, where you're collecting something, progressing that track, and you can claim something now and then. Just a little bit of a different theme, and as well as kind of the ability to purchase things from the shop. Whereas I guess in Halloween, once you completed the track, you could spend extra spooky supplies in the actual in-game shops, whereas this will be a little bit more thematic, contained all in one spot. Idle can only be collected if you did not hunt at all the entire spring egg hunt. Oh, that is an absolutely sinister idea, Swift. I don't think that would happen, but that is... Frank says, I wonder, could we do a rotten egg? Who would drop it? I would guess the toxic spill would be a good place to hide that away, or if not, maybe the Burrow's Rift, which is the Rift version of the toxic spill. At least one phase of it. Can we get Rift Extra Charm for Rift Hunt? Make it toggle like candle. That has been a suggestion as well. I think that came up while we're putting things together, but can't say it with any certainty yet. Will we get a free egg sweeper fertilizer from Larry this year? We did the first year, but didn't last year, and it was missed. That is kind of something with the chocolate shop. I think that'll be a good opportunity to work in some new ways of obtaining things, but a little too soon to say for sure. How about secret developers eggs? For the most part, I think we kind of like to brand it as MouseHunt, so it's a team effort. So I don't know if I'm too keen on the idea of putting an egg named after anyone specific on the team, because hey, we all work together to build the game together, and so if anything, it's more of like a MouseHunt developer team or something like that, egg. But didn't you say there was a Valentine's shop? I didn't see it. I don't recall saying that. maybe when I was referring to Halloween, drawing some loose comparisons to the Spring Egg Hunt chocolate shop to Halloween, kind of wrapped up in a different way with a different theme. Agreed, the Black Banished Egg. Yes, I believe that has been quite the popular suggestion for a number of years, and that is sitting in kind of the idea bank when it comes time to put together the eggs. I think the other one that has been a popular suggestion over the years is a Zuriel egg as well for completing that or tracking them down during that library assignment. Dev eggs or deviled eggs. That's all right. You might be able to win me over with a good pun like that. +1 to a Spring Egg Hunt journal theme. I'm pretty sure that is a go. I don't think it's been... I don't know, actually. Off the top of my head, I don't know if it's been illustrated yet, but I'm pretty sure we are going to add a theme this year, barring some complete change in direction. Will we get an Easter airship? I think that may have been in the cards. And if not, I mean, that is just way too good of an opportunity to turn the balloon into a giant egg. Swift, can the Sandcastle Halloween event return someday? Perhaps. That was kind of some feedback we're looking at, is maybe trying something new next Halloween, but we're not quite ready to kind of dive into the Halloween spirit yet. Yeah, will we continue to see streak of events with dirigibles? There is a dirigible cosmetic or an airship cosmetic, I think that's what we ended up calling them in the game, for the birthday event. It's pretty darn cute. The balloon is a whole bunch of birthday balloons. I like the way it turned out. But yeah, off the top of my head, let me double check here, because if not, I gotta write that down. But I'm pretty sure I recall that being discussed. It's tricky with a lot of things on the go, a lot of details to float around in the head. I'm really tempting my computer here by loading up anything else. Probably should have rebooted before the stream or something. Just the ritual, for nothing more than the placebo effect of thinking maybe that'll help. Airship. Yep, there we go. All right. Scheduled to be illustrated in 2 weeks in a Spring Egg Hunt airship cosmetic set. So that is in the plans, unless something changes over the next 2 weeks or so. But it's good to see there's enthusiasm. It'll kind of I think that will kind of complete the event set, because I think we've added a airship cosmetic for every event and event season this year. Well, 2020 into 2021, this event season, we added a Halloween one. Pretty sure we added a Great Winter Hunt one. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it looks like, but I'm pretty sure we did. Lunar New Year one. I love that one with the ox just kind of chilling out. Looking a little bit unimpressed in that airship, but there's just the ox just kind of chilling out there. The Spring Egg Hunt airship cosmetic, the HMS Scrambles. Poor Scrambles. Has to get airborne. It's a flightless bird. I could imagine Scrambles would be afraid of heights. Gavril, do we have a dark mode UI, or is there something I missed in the settings? No. There's it's unfortunately kind of the way things are set out. It would be possible, but it's a lot more work than you'd think, just kind of in sort of the foundation of the game. It being kind of 13 years old, it'd be a little tricky to pull it off and make sure kind of throughout everything, everything's kind of worked out well, has high enough contrast, kind of needs some pretty significant design effort put into the various interfaces in the game. There are just so many interfaces. It would be quite a large undertaking. That said, it's crossed our minds to try it maybe as like a beta feature, kind of, hey, disclaimer, try out this dark mode, because, you know, somebody could put together a dark mode in probably a day, but it wouldn't be very polished. And there'd definitely be some spots on the interface like, that looks really weird the way it was done. But, you know, maybe that's a starting point. Kind of like, hey, heads up, this ain't perfect yet, but, you know, we'll kind of try to iron out the wrinkles as they come up as best we can. But at the moment, anyway, no plans to add one. The Lunar New Year airship skin is super expensive. I think I picked it up. I don't think it was too bad, was it? Pretty sure I have it. I should arm it. It's a hard choice: 30 candles or Lunar New Year airship. Yeah. Sorry, that was a Super Brie vending machine. I was half listening that day. Sorry, no worries, Celine. Yeah, yeah. The birthday event is looking in good shape. So let me look at a calendar here. I'm about to say a date, and I'm horrible at dates. So we're planning to launch the 13th birthday event on March 2nd. I'm reading that on a calendar, so I would be even extra amazed with myself for saying the wrong date. And yeah, we've incorporated a few changes. I think we went over that a couple Feedback Fridays ago, adding a Super Snacks Plus machine. So the break room, instead of you getting just kind of random cheese, as you upgrade the break room, and every time you claim the crate, you'll get an item called a Super Token Plus. And you can kind of think of that as some lunch money to spend in the break room. And from the HUD, you could open up the Super Snacks machine, and you can pick, I think there are one of 5 snack bags. And so there's Larry's Starter Mix, there's Tribal Isles Crunch, there's Riftios. So you can kind of get, select the theme of cheese you're interested in, but it's still then random cheese within that kind of theme. So if you pick the Riftios, you're going to get cheese to help you in the rift, but it'll still be, you don't quite know. Sometimes it'll be, ooh, that was especially good, and ooh, that wasn't as good. So kind of a middle ground between being completely random and being kind of completely pick exactly what you want. My candles are too precious to buy a cosmetic. Well, that's the choice to make between cosmetic or loot boosts. Especially for cosmetic no one else can see. Yeah, it's still on that to-do list, but we want to incorporate it on hunter profiles, but hasn't quite been able to get that done yet. March 2. That should be the birthday launch date unless something goes amiss. Well, that's the plan. It's looking pretty good. Like I said, we're all kind of wrapped up. The last little thing I have to check out is kind of a little St. Patrick's Day. Usually we do a bonus luck event, and we add the lucky mouse on the loose. Just want to make sure that doesn't cause any kind of weird side effects with the birthday event. So I'm just going to play through that today. Can we have the teddy bear collectible return, please? Not the birthday bear. Off the top of my head, I can't remember where that came from. Certainly over the years, there were a lot of collectibles. For a while, there's a kind of a phase in the game where it was kind of, again, not kind of thinking ahead to just how long, the longevity of the game. It was still surprising us to the day. So just kind of adding lots of collectibles, thinking like, but not kind of thinking ahead. There will be many more events to follow this one, so you could kind of space out the collectibles a little bit more than that. We saw the vending machine last Feedback Friday. A wrong date egg, yeah. Oh dear. I would collect 1 million of those, apparently. How about a failed egg? You need to get red boxes 10 in a row. Oh, I don't know if that sounds fun. But hey, it would turn a negative into a positive. But could you imagine? You get 9 red boxes in a row, and on your 10th one, you didn't. Whew. I might throw something at my computer screen. Do you only get one type of cheese per bag, or is it mix? Asks Skylar. You do get more than one piece. Let me take a look here so I don't misspeak. I believe you get 4. I think they all have 4. So this is for the birthday vending machine. Do I dare open up a spreadsheet? My video is in 5 frames per second. Super high quality. Nothing but the best. One, two. No, this one only has 3. Also, they don't all have 4. Most of them have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they all used to have 4, but then it got a little bit difficult to come up with the costs, and so we redid kind of the cost of some bags and how quickly you earn tokens, and that meant one of them went down to 3, so it could be less expensive. But yeah, you should get 4 distinct types of cheese in most of the bags, except for Larry's starter mix, which I think only has 3 unique types of cheese, but it's also the least expensive pack. So you get a little bit of a spread of cheese. There'll be kind of some bread and butter cheese, some mid-tier cheese, and a possibility of a piece of boss cheese. Kind of depends on the bag, though. It's a little bit, just like a big old bag of snack mix. When you reach in, you're not quite sure. You might pull out a whole handful of pretzels sometimes. You might pull out a whole thing of cheesies sometimes, or sometimes you get a nice combination of it all. Dave, any new graphics you can share with us, either about Spring Egg Hunt or the birthday event? I have a few here. I think some of the names are still being finalized here, but kind of example of some of the currency item you'll be collecting, dropped by the Spring Egg Hunt mice that you can then spend in the shop, as well as a new chocolate bar base, which is still kind of coming together. Igna says, hey, I wonder, I'm using 3 rift sets, but when the Taunting Charm, it's not counted as rift set, only as 2-piece. You only get the rift set bonus with the Taunting Charm against specific mice. So you won't see it in the trap selector, because its effect only triggers when you encounter the monstrous Black Widow. Is that her name? No. The rift version of the Black Widow. So that's why you don't see it in the trap selector, because you're not getting that bonus. It technically doesn't have the Rift Walker set bonus, but years ago we did patch something so that you'd get it against the boss mouse, or when the charm consumes, you get it. Otherwise, you could arm it. You could go to any Rift location. The charm would never consume, and you'd be getting the set effect the whole time, which would make kind of all the other charms obsolete in some ways or in some situations. And actually, a little bit of trivia. I think that patch inadvertently created a side effect that years down the road led to the Rift Walker Rift Stalker set bonus being inadvertently doubled, which if it had been like that for so long, we just adopted those as the working as intended stats and fixed that bug. But that was a deep dive little side effect bug. Yep, Brian's got my back too, and it also works with the Whisker Woods Rift mini bosses. So yeah, you don't get it in the trap effectiveness meter. Eileen was distracted. March 2 for Spring Egg Hunt or the birthday? Well, up here above me, I've got the Spring Egg Hunt, March 30. I wrote that down, so I can't be wrong there. I closed the calendar, but I'm pretty confident that March 2 is the release date of the birthday. So yeah, birthday on March 2 and Spring Egg Hunt March 30. 2 start dates in March. Whew. Events are just marching right through. Dave, can you expand on the Sunken City region? The ocean is a deep, deep place, and you can find a deeper trench. There had been a few ideas floating around to kind of add like a Mouselantis or something like that, but no plans to at the moment. Eileen, totally distracted here. Thanks. No problem. No problem. All right, well, we should move on to the QAR, the question, answer, reward, or otherwise known as trivia. And we're going to see here, hopefully I don't have the answer up on the screen. Hey, all right. The question in this questionable choice of font that I picked, which seems pretty hard to read right there, but it does say, which Spring Egg Hunt mouse is worth the most gold? At least at the moment. There's always a possibility when we do an event, especially when we're kind of overhauling the format of it, that we change the points and gold of some of the mice, but at least for the moment, which Spring Egg Hunt mouse is worth the most gold? It is not the gold foil Swift. You'd think it would be. You would think the gold foil would be up there. The onion chopper is correct. Ryan has the right answer. The onion chopper, for some reason, is the largest gold reward. I'll put this link in the chat as well. I'll return in full screen. Beautiful. I'm up to 7 frames per second. My laptop is just a video encoding machine. in all 7 frame per second glory. The onion chopper is correct. I don't. Maybe the king gives a great reward because he's not too fond of the smell of onions throughout the kingdom. I don't know, but the onion chopper, for whatever reason, is worth the most gold of all the spring egg hunt mice. Again, who knows? With every kind of iteration of events, sometimes we do change the rewards of mice, but at least, hey, for the time being, the onion chopper reigns supreme as being the most valuable spring egg hunt mouse. Butter asks, any more events after the spring egg hunt? Usually that does mark the end of the spring egg hunt, but we are kind of toying with the idea of maybe doing a king's giveaway after the spring egg hunt. So it'd be event season extended. Again, not for sure. It's not officially kind of on the roadmap. We haven't started development on that or haven't committed to it, but we kind of have a couple other projects on the go, and so I think that might be a nice kind of small event to put at the end of event season this year while we work on some other kind of larger ideas. So I kind of have at least something kind of new still coming out while we finish up something else. Maine, Dave, we need to see the king. Never. I think he's only revealed himself in a very blurred silhouette from a distance in an image depicting the master burglar running off with his crown. I think that's as close as we've gotten to seeing the king. So after 13 years, I don't think he'll be coming out anytime soon. After the spring egg hunt, are you guys going to start looking at the next permanent area? Yes. I have a couple irons in the fire. Is that the expression? I don't know. I have a couple ideas in the idea bank there, but actually I'm looking forward to kind of wrapping up the birthday with a bow here. To then kind of shift gears and start looking towards at least a small little piece of episodic expansion. And then kind of while that's being developed, somebody else can start working on kind of a next permanent area, new adventure for the adventure book. Hemedy asks, why doesn't the lucky golden shield stack extend? There is a whole lot of history there, so it's a little bit of MouseHunt trivia, I guess. But going back, I don't know, was it 12 years ago? 11, 12 years ago when the Golden Shield came out. It was meant to be kind of the idea of, hey, free t-shirt with every purchase, or just a little thank you. And every single purchase gave a month of Shield. It's just like, hey, anytime you support the game, for the next 30 days, enjoy a 7-day luck bonus. Or plus 7 luck bonus. But then kind of that came out, we had some mixed feedback. Like, hey, this is kind of weird. I feel like I should get a little bit more if I spend more. And so, hindsight was a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. There was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, sure. And then we kind of arbitrarily picked the 2 and the 4-month time span. But the problem is, it isn't a linear scale. So, if you buy $1 4 times, it's the exact same as buying $40. It's kind of awkward. So there's some weird history there. There's kind of some legacy design chilling out for the last 12 years, and we've never quite found a kind of just right way to address that. There's been some ideas where something like, hey, if your shield wasn't going to be extended, maybe you get kind of some little item, like a little shield shine item or something that you can then put to use in some other way. But again, it is what it is for now until we find that kind of just right solution that feels fun and it makes sense and isn't confusing. Then we're kind of treat it not broke, don't fix it. Oh, and hey, Dave, what's your favorite question that infallibly gets asked every feedback Fred? Yeah, I can't think of, and usually is a pretty good variety. Brian, I agree. I missed the Sunken City mini event. Got a horde trawling charms. Ancient crates are nice too. Yeah, that was a pretty fun bonus event. I like the way that one turned out. Even just the theme of finding the crates along the floor and the trawling charm, just picturing your sub dragging along the floor, picking up a whole bunch of treasure. I kind of like the theme of that one. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe usually we do a quick little sanity check. Somebody loads it up, plays it through for a day. But those were originally designed to be pretty well flipping a switch, more or less, and everything would turn on to make them pretty easy to roll out. But they're so few and far between, we get a little nervous. We're like, well, we better play through this, make sure in the last 3 years some other change didn't break something. So floating island expansion this year with a better jewel rate would be better than something brand new. that is kind of one of the irons in the fire, is to add kind of an extra tier of islands, something beyond the high altitude, where you could find some little shards of jewels. Maybe even a level 10 Oculus, but again, kind of speculation at this point because it still hasn't been firmed up. Interesting answer, thanks. Yeah, well, it goes back a few years, that golden shield, so it is what it is for now. Maybe one day we'll us or a player will have just the right suggestion to address it. Jonathan, why did my chat stop moving? You may just need to scroll down, or you can always refresh. But on that note, we should probably wrap things up here as we approach the hour mark. Swift, can an old LE item return as one of them? I guess, yeah, that comes up some time to time. And again, kind of history of the game, kind of some old design. If we were to redo MouseHunt today, I don't know if we would do limited edition items, but they're part of the game now, and so that's just how it works. Someone usually asks about Raza. Yeah, it's another popular one, depending on the time of year. If she just came, usually not. But if she hadn't been around for a while, people start to wonder if she's okay. Hopefully, get worried. Maybe Captain Cloudbeard boarded her ship somewhere up there and get nervous if she's doing okay. You think she could afford a pretty awesome defense system on her airship by now, though. She's collected a lot of gold over the years. Thanks for engaging us, Dave. Kathy, absolutely my pleasure. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for engaging with me today. Thanks for the feedback. I think we've gone over everything. So I'm going to wrap everything. I'm going to wrap up here, hunters. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great week whenever you're, if you happen to be watching this later. Happy hunting, and I'll probably see you in a couple weeks. I think it'll probably be Jacob next week, which means I'll probably join you after. I gotta definitely look at a calendar for this. I'll probably be joining you while the birthday event is in full swing. That's exciting. All right, happy hunting. Thanks for joining me, hunters. I'll see you next time.
1, 2.
You're a trap. Don't seem to mind it. You attract me. I'm a mouse, you're a cat. I don't seem to mind it. Soft and furry. Oh, and just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Just when you think you're safe, snap. I come back. You don't seem to mind it, but I'm a fool. Broke my back. You don't seem to mind it, 'cause you're so cool. And just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Ooh. And just when you think you're safe, snap. Turns out